Hi, I'm Steph Schuler, and this is Real and Raw. And I have my co host, Heather Sneed, and today we are going to be talking about the power of words. Now, I am just going to actually start with the bad ones because as a female, I don't know, do you cuss very often?
Too much. And I've been trying to sort of, scale back on that.
Me too.
But maybe it was just, it had more to do with the time that we grew up. But guess what? I've discovered the kids my daughter's age,
Yeah.
16.
It's a different generation.
They're doing it worse.
I know. Well, so here's what I've noticed. Okay, I'm going to say I did not say bad word. I'm even saying bad words. My mother called them bad words.
Yes.
But I did not cuss until I can consciously remember the day. I was picking up my kids from CCD, and so they must have been, 10, 9, 7, something like that. And I slammed my brakes and I said, "Oh, shit."
Oh.
And I remember my middle son was in the back and he said, "Oh, Mom, you're going to go to hell." And I looked back and I thought, wait a minute. I said, "Honey, I'm a good person." He goes, "No, but you said a bad word. You're going to go to hell." And
That's scary for them.
Yeah. So here's what I did. I have very unconventional parenting. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. In my head, I'm saying this, right? I said,
Right.
I'm going to decensor my children. Desensitize, not decensor. Desensitize my children, at least in my presence, where I'm going to be able to, say these words because these words truly are not, they're not, who labeled them bad? What they are like exclamation marks. And that's something that I feel, I don't know if anybody else thinks that, but there's such a bad connotation for these words. And I really think that they are just exclamation marks, but you can't scream. And sometimes I've caught myself going like,
No, you can't.
Beep, beep, beep. And I'm be censored out. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of trashy. That's like you're screaming at somebody.
So especially with a daughter, you want to say to them, look, you don't want to sound like this, truck driver.
Right. But
It's
they have
kind of,
emphasis.
But, what it does do for them when they're going through these stages where they're trying to develop and they don't really have a whole lot of freedom.
Right.
And the one thing they can do is say, shit.
It's expression.
And they're expressing themselves, but it's also like a purge. They're venting.
Right.
And it's the one thing they can do. They're
Right.
in that awkward age. So that's kind of like where, Sydney's a little bit older now, but I've overheard them in her bedroom. Can't.
Yeah.
And I go, what did you say?
Yeah, but I used to say that too. And then I was like, you know what?
It's so bad.
But I thought, who decided like that floor wasn't a bad word, right? Like we just choose these words to, add bad, sort of emphasis to, and then everybody buys in. But I kind of, when that happened to me, I might have been 32, 33 years old at that time. And I was like, I just remember thinking, oh no, that is not why. I just said, first of all, and I think I even told my son, I don't even know if I believe in hell. But anyway, that's beside the point. I am a good person. Just because I said that, some teacher, some, whatever, brainwashing. And I don't mean that church is brainwashing, but, somebody told that kid that bad words, you go to hell.
And then they're afraid for their mother.
Yeah, well, then they're like judging their mother hard because, I could have said a lot of other words. Listen, shit was the low one on the totem pole.
Shit, ass, all on the low end. But then they're scared, privately thinking, oh no, this person that I love is going to hell.
Right.
Sydney said a couple things to me the other day from like coming out of religion class. I wasn't, really all that thrilled about it. The divorced parents don't really... You will never really experience true love in your life if you've come from a divorced family.
Wait, this is the church?
This is recent. This is recent at Oakland Catholic.
Well, here's the deal. If you
I'm not thrilled with
pay a few $1,000s, your mom or dad can be redeemed because you can actually get remarried in the church.
Once you pay a certain amount, according to, some of the ancient times with this, then you went from purgatory to heaven. You had to just
Yeah.
visit the church.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother podcast. So let's get back. Okay, so the bad words. So that's my feeling on it is that they are definitely useful. I don't think
For
you need.
and I, they're not really bad. We have other ones.
Oh yeah, that was nothing. That's a little, that's a little taste.
And the intention isn't directed like, I want you to die and everybody in your family to suffer. That's something completely
Wait,
different.
so I think what you're saying too, because I would say, "Oh, mom," as an adult, as a child, I was not allowed to say any. My mom would call them curse words, and but as an adult, I was like, "Oh, mom, what a bitch," She's like, "Oh, don't say that," and I'm like, it's all about the tone as well. I don't care what word you're using. The tone is everything. Because you could be like, bitch,
Or you could look at your dog and go, "Oh, you little motherfucker."
Yes, it's all about
And they'll
the
still
tone.
miss you.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's
Aw,
what
my
I
baby.
think you could say anything in that tone and that
Yeah.
inflection, and so it's different. So for me, words I've always felt. I actually don't use always, but I did today. That I try and choose them because they have power. So
Yes.
hate is a word that I may have used, I'm sure, many times in my life, but as an adult, I consciously stopped using it because I realized that I believe everything has energy and
power.
I do, and everything has power, and you have to really watch what you're throwing out there and what you're allowing into your, this monkey mind.
Well, and you know what? Now that you're bringing that up, I'm actually sort of thinking this right now. How some of my friends and I, we just say it in a joking way, like I hate everything today, or
Right.
I hate everyone and everything today. Just we're not really meaning we truly. But when you're saying that,
Right, you're putting
something
something out
subconscious.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you're subconsciously telling yourself everything's horrible. It's not getting. This is the power of words. So many people out there who delve deep into this stuff and really like to teach. And,
What stuff?
the whole power of words and magic of words.
Yes.
MAGICK. However they want to say it.
Oh.
The ancient.
Oh, that
versions of
magic.
it. It's spelling. That's why it's called
Yes,
spelling. You're
spells,
putting a
yes.
spell. That's
Yes,
saying
and that is
things
true.
a
And have you
certain
ever
way.
noticed? I do Reiki.
Yeah.
And so I've had lots and lots of clients. And so I watch people and their patterns and what they say. So when they're on the table, okay, there's certain people that have complete anxiety. I'm watching what they're saying.
Yes.
People that are negative and depressed or depressed. I'm watching what they're saying. And there are a lot of common themes with anxiety-filled people. Fear. I mean, I fear this. I'm
Fear.
scared to death. I'm worried about this. Like those are their go-to words. And
Yes.
so their words are really showing up in how they're
Training them.
It's translating into the energy because
Yeah.
they're like nervous. Like I have a friend. I'm sorry, I won't even say her name, but she'll know who she's going to be a pod. I know she's probably the one
about me.
follower. She's probably the one follower we have. But I made fun of her. We went on this trip together. We were in Belgium, and she'd go, "I'm just a little nervous. I'm just a little nervous," and I was like, "Settle down, blank. Settle down." Like, what? And
Stop
and
saying
stop
it.
saying.
Stop putting
Stop
it out there.
bringing. It's all in manifestation
I
because
know.
yeah,
I
like,
know.
I do feel like those words. So the top words that I try to avoid personally:
Yes.
fear,
Yes.
hate.
Yes.
And those are the two that or I'm worried. Oh, I'm just nervous. Like any
Nervous,
of those kind of words, I pull those straight out of my pluck them out of my
Anything
brain.
that convinces you to be a weaker
Yeah,
version of
less
yourself.
less
Less
than.
than.
Yeah, less than. Yeah. So but so the opposite is true as well.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I feel so many people like I'm just 48, almost rounding 50 here. And I've gotten to a place in my life where I'm like, oh my God, I like who I am. I'm confident. Not like cocky is different than confident. We know that, right?
Content.
Yes.
Confident.
Right. Ego, all that kind of stuff. But
Yes.
I am comfortable in the skin that I'm in. And so
What's better than that?
No, there really isn't better. I'm like looking for personal
I mean,
freedom,
is Bill
man.
Gates comfortable? I mean,
I don't know.
like,
He's
you don't think he's comfortable in his. First of all, is he like very
why are you
unattractive?
going after Billy?
I'm not a fan of Bill.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's just
either.
not.
No, but
I
yeah.
would actually use a couple of those words you said not to use.
Yeah. Oh, no, you wouldn't. No, it'll. Yeah, he's got his own karma. Listen, I think people. That's why I don't get actually upset.
I know.
Yes, but even when I was going through a really brutal lawsuit, okay, I mean, I was getting raped, right? I watched the words that I use because I said, absolutely, I am not going to put that out there because I believe, first, we have
attractive.
this. Yeah, they're going to get whoever's doing things that, they know within,
They
with
know.
ill intent. That's all coming back to you.
know.
Like, I
They
can't,
know.
bother that. But I was very, very conscious. People would say to me, "Oh, you've got to hate them." I said, "Actually, no, I don't hate anyone. That takes too much. That's power. That's energy." And I really do
Grows
mean
from
it.
you.
Now, that doesn't mean that I wasn't angry.
Right.
Listen, I had when I bought, actually my son Carson, I bought him a punching bag, and I think he might have used it once or twice. So while I was going
Made
through this
use
place,
of it.
I used it, but I might have put their faces on it, and
I
I
might have.
punched the shit out of
might
this.
have.
No, but I thought, you know what? That's
what?
healthy.
It
Like,
is.
it's not. I'm not actually hating. What I'm doing is releasing some, energy that's within me that I don't want. So that doesn't turn into hate. So that doesn't turn into resentment. So it doesn't turn into any of that.
I've known somebody who's actually written a kill list before. Went through a divorce, bitter divorce, and wrote a kill list. These are the people I'm going to kill from this process.
Good God. Do not
purged it.
introduce me to this individual like ever. Okay?
true.
Just keep me away.
Wrote
I
a
don't.
kill list.
But did they burn them? Or, I mean, have they checked any off the list?
I don't know. I never
Let's not
really
ask. Listen, let's
inquired
just
with
let's
further.
just keep that one
I had
at
a
bay.
kill list.
Yeah.
It was very therapeutic. Things
Wow.
got better.
Okay.
and
Well, okay.
that
I
was
do
it.
understand. I believe in writing down how you feel for sure. I do. I believe in that. But I don't know. That seems a little aggressive. But if
a little.
listen, if it worked for them, I might burn it myself just so that all these phones, everything is like Big Brother's watching and listening. And I think it's just looking for an opportunity. And we'll be like, how about this one? Oh, yeah, found it. Kill list. We're on
Kill
you.
list with that,
Yeah.
that one's on there. Hillary's
No.
list.
Oh, wow. Oh, God, you just ousted Hillary.
We're on the list.
Oh, who's on the list?
Well, I just.
Oh,
so
okay.
maybe not we're on the list.
Okay. Oh, got it. I thought this was Hillary's list, and now we know who the list maker is. No. Anyway, all right. So, what powerful words? What powerful words? I can't say that clearly. That do you feel like that you need to improve on, and then ones that you're like, no, I'm owning my shit.
Right. So probably lately would be tired.
Okay, that's people say that all the
tired.
time. They wake up and the first thing. Oh, by the way, the first 5 seconds you wake up, they say that is the money time. That is
Tell yourself how you're
tell
gonna feel right
yourself
then.
exactly like how you're
Yes.
feeling. That's the kind of day you're gonna have. And I truly believe.
So glad you reminded me of that.
Yeah. How'd you wake up? Worried, pissed? What?
Oh,
None of
you
it.
know, we've been talking about this. I've been going through this early stages of menopause.
Oh,
I've been,
so
doing this
sorry.
sweating.
Yeah.
So I'm waking up, and I have these, we call them the 3 a.m. thoughts.
Oh yeah.
You know,
come
they're
barreling
very
out like
haunting.
wild horses.
It's a little, that's a whole
yeah.
other
So
conversation, but-
what was the thing that you thought?
So, you think, oh my God, I'm tired. I'm going to be tired in the morning. I have all this to do.
See,
What
you're
am I gonna do
already
about saying,
putting
my
it
daughter's
out
this-
there.
Oh, she was supposed to do this. I was supposed to do that. Things are just
Yes.
the worry and the anxiety are heightened for some reason at that time.
Right, because you know what? It's quiet. And your
quiet,
mind is
dark.
like, what can I nosh on? And so you know what that does, that worry, that anxiety, it starts to create stuff in your body. So
I know.
it does.
Physically.
There's science behind that. I don't know what it is, but there's science behind that.
Well, I mean, in the medical world, for people who don't really get into like the spiritual aspect of it, they call those psychosomatic symptoms.
Okay. Oh, I have heard that. Yes.
So, you're making yourself feel a certain way because
Right.
you're convincing yourself of that. And it's really real. You know?
Yes.
So you can do that too with pretty much anything.
So fun that you just said that. Fun fact. Well, I don't know if it's fun, but it's a fact. So they had. I listened for years to. Oh God, what's it? Wayne Dyer. Okay, he wrote this book, and in this, he talked about a study that they did at Baylor University in Texas, and I can't remember how many people. I want to say it was like 30 people, and these people had. They said, okay, some of you are going to be some of you are going to be a placebo, and some of you are not, or maybe they didn't even tell them that. But there were two separate groups of people, and they had they all need knee replacements. So half the people, when they opened them up, and they did not know who was who, half the people, they just opened it up and they like rinsed it out with saline, we'll say. And the other half, they actually did the knee replacement, all right? So they all did the exact same physical therapy and afterwards, and they tracked them.
And in their minds, all thought.
They all thought they got it.
Yes.
Yes, they all thought they got the actual knee replacement.
Yes.
And guess what?
No difference.
No, none. I think there was a slight difference, but that's the power of the
incredible.
mind. They said
Yeah.
and then the orthopedic surgeon, is that what they are?
Yeah.
He said, actually, I'm not needed. If this really happened, what's the point of my job? We need to work on the mind.
How many stories have we heard of people, healing themselves?
Oh,
from
so
different ailments?
many. Yes.
There are a lot of scientists out there who will say, no, that's not true. Can't be
Right.
done, doctor.
Right, but then yet it is.
But
yet it
you know,
is.
I've had my own personal experiences of small things.
Right.
So I believe in it. I'm fully invested in that, but I'm also invested in physical, like real, like scientific medicine.
Right.
I like the integrative.
I do too.
Both, a
but
little bit
guess
of
what?
both.
We're talking about words now.
Words.
We got to go back. Both of us are AD. We are. I've got the H and she's got the D. But
Back
so
to
tell
words.
me how we could tell people, give them one little takeaway here about the power of
Said
words.
it.
Yeah.
You already said it. If you just take that first, 10 seconds after you wake
Yeah,
up?
I think maybe it's we'll just go with 30. Give them some extra
minute.
time.
First minute.
Yeah.
Take that first minute, the minute your eyes wake up,
First
and just start telling yourself positive things.
Today's going to be great.
I'm
Look
gonna
at us.
I'm going to feel great.
Yeah.
I will,
Anything
perform
is
well.
possible. Anything is possible. Or if you wake up and your mind goes straight to doomsday, because listen, I do believe that, you are a collection of everything that you've thought, right? So if you aren't used to being positive, you can't just wake up and your mind's like, listen, you created the grooves, girl. Like, I'm going negative, and oh my God, I didn't pay that bill, or oh my God, did I embarrass myself, right? You've got to. I call them like weed, brain weed. Well, that doesn't make sense. No, actually,
Oh,
nope.
no,
I'm
it
going
does
to
make
scratch
sense.
that. That
makes
doesn't.
sense.
Does
I like
it?
brain weeds.
Yeah, brain weeds.
I love
okay.
brain
Yeah,
weeds.
and so you know how a weed grows. You got a little tiny one, and if you don't notice it, it grows into like a weed freaking tree, right?
Yeah.
So
Sometimes
that's
we
what
need
thoughts can do.
Little ones to grow, just
Yeah.
to keep us in check. But on that thought that you just said about that, you said about, making sure that you're, not cultivating these weeds in your brain. If you just wake up every morning and tell yourself, this is going to be a great day, like we just said, you're convincing yourself. There are many, many people out there.
It's an energy shift.
That are considered, they're kind of quacky.
Oh.
But they will say, you can manifest pretty much anything.
Anything.
They've
I
done
believe
it. I've had my own experiences with it. And you can heal yourself. You can make things happen. And, if you just at least start the process of, constantly talking positively.
It's retraining your brain to, well, first of all, the awareness is everything. If you're not aware you're doing it, then you're just a little hostage in your own brain, right? I mean, that is like, I kind of give that
that
analogy
true?
when I do Reiki sessions. I'm like, listen, right now you're a hostage in your own mind. Get control, get the wheel. The ego's always going to be riding somewhere in that car.
But
Just
it's
don't
a
let him
version of
drive.
Stockholm syndrome. Some people love their own, like,
Well,
listen,
that's because they identify with that because they really haven't done what they want to do in
they
life.
do, but they just need to, break the ice a little bit. and
Break
start-
it, but it's really retraining those muscles. You get muscle atrophy, right? If you don't use that part of your brain, and it's like it's brain training. I mean, it's hard. There were times I'm like, wait a minute, and it took me, we'll say. Sometimes I won't even catch them because they're so ingrained in me, right? The subconscious. It's
I
just
know.
like running
know.
you. But
I
the
did
more
one today.
the more
Oh.
you're doing it,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
The more you're aware of it and you can catch it and pluck it. Like pluck those brain weeds.
Pluck them out.
Yes,
Stop saying
yes.
negative things about yourself.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God.
others- and how about
That's
others?
huge.
Saying it about a.
Yes,
Oh, I
but
know
it's
what I
you-
was gonna say.
I'm gonna be quiet now. I keep talking over you. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're not. But you know how I lose things.
Yes.
So, one of the other things, I had this guru. She passed. She'd written multiple books. She was incredible. She lived every part of life. She had a
good.
family.
She sucked
and
all
it-
the
she went-
drops out of it before she left.
She was able to hover. She was able
Oh.
to have a life.
Wow.
With a everything.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
did it all. But one of the things that she would say, in some of our sessions would say things like, the universe, whatever you want to call it, if you call it God, if you call it universe, if you call it energy, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't care either way.
Right.
You're telling it what to do. If
Yes.
you say, I suck today, it's going to make that a truth. It
Yes.
cares about what it does care about. It does care about something, actually, is truth. It makes that a truth for you.
Yeah. Well, because if you buy into it, that's the energy. And people roll their eyes. I'm like, no, people, this is actual science.
Yeah.
Ask you.
It is.
Yeah. Is it quantum physics? Yes.
Mechanical
yes.
physics.
Yeah. Whatever. All the physics.
Physics.
Yes. Those things. Yeah. I do believe, but I changed my own life by really forcing myself to say, no, anything can happen today, Steph. And life presents us so many different experiences to acknowledge that is true. Because just think about it. One day you wake up and you're like, oh shit, I don't know, I can't pay my mortgage. And then the next thing you know, boom,
Yeah,
something might happen, right? I mean, I've had experiences after experiences of 1 second changes your life.
Jump out of the loop.
Yeah, and then you get
rid
like,
of that bad.
yeah. One day I was like, praying to God. I was like, dude, I need a better job. I'm telling you. And I prayed and I manifested and I felt this connection.
Oh,
It was
I've done so
real.
much
And guess what?
praying
Like
and
3 days
talking.
later, right? I wasn't expecting it. I woke up and I was like, all right, anything can happen. Boom.
And
I get a
it's
call.
trusting. It's
Yeah.
trusting yourself, trusting that connection,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I mean, I say God and universe and all
Yeah.
those things. Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, whatever you want to, whatever it is.
Right. Just letting
that's
it
yours.
go.
Yeah.
And then really owning that belief system because
Letting
yes,
it go. Don't
Yeah.
be attached to, these negative things. Let it go.
Because like, listen, I will tell clients all the time. I'm like, when was the last time anxiety actually did anything for you but make you sick? Like, literally think about that. I'm worried about this. I'm worried. I said, did that pay your bills?
No.
Did that get you the girlfriend you wanted?
No.
Did that get you, the new job that you're looking for? No, it actually has done
didn't.
nothing.
Damage.
Yes, it's actually not done nothing because that would be neutral.
It's taking it
It's
down.
absolutely stealing your
it,
time, your
stealing.
joy.
Theft.
Yeah, it's a time thief.
Mm-hmm.
It's a body hostage. He's like in there like a parasite, just eating away.
It's it's something like I would love to be able to spread that to as many people as possible. I still need to.
Well, we got to get him listening first.
we have to get them. Well, we have one follower, right?
We do. I don't know who it might be me.
Maybe it's me.
I think it's my own self. Jesus. Oh, man. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So the power of words. That to
really
me,
is.
yeah, it's a life changer. It's an energy changer. And again, I know people, I have a lot of friends that are super logical and they find me humorous because they're like, "Oh yeah, that's not." But I'm like, "No, look at yourself. Like I'm going to turn the mirror around. I'm the girl hopping in here happy every day. I mean, because it's a choice. I'm choosing the words.
It's a choice.
And those words and that way I'm putting it out. I am choosing to show up this way. Listen, because I could actually, there's a lot of stuff that I could be worried about right now.
Power of words. The words come out of thoughts, though. The power of
Correct.
thoughts. So if you really think about it, all of the things that we would consider good in the world, if you want to use the word good, and evil.
See, I don't even
from
think
thoughts
good
and words.
Yeah, yes, they do. They do.
You know, the stroke of a pen can cause genocide or can save an entire nation.
Oh, it's
The
it's
thought
counter.
and the-
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. So people, choose your words and your thoughts wisely.
For yourself and for others.
Yeah, please, for others as well. Yeah, and
I mean, you know, haven't you felt I do use the word karma. I don't know if
I
you
do it all. I use it a lot. Yeah, I probably overused it, but yeah, I'm constantly thinking.
it's real.
Yeah, well,
I never knew it was real when I was young. In the Western world, that's not what we were taught.
Right.
We were taught other things.
we were taught a lot of other things.
So
right?
it took us a while.
Yeah, but
you
it's
know?
like peeling back the layers of, as I remember when I was 18 years old, I'll give one silly, and it has nothing to do with words, but it just how, wait a minute, oh, I have choices that I didn't have before. Oh, I'm seeing the world much different because when you grow up in your family's home, this is just what you think happens
And you
everywhere
think
else.
this is it.
And then you
This
get
is
out in the
right. This is the
wild
right
and you're
way.
like, what the fuck? Like, so I was 19 years old. I will never forget it. I was having dinner with like 6 or 7 friends, and we were, and somehow we talked about, losing teeth, and I just said, oh my God,
Please no.
I said, oh yeah, my dad pulled our teeth out with pliers. And everyone stopped and looked at me, and they were like,
It was abusive.
yeah, it was like shock. And I looked and that thought, I go, wait a minute. Everyone's looking at me weird. This
I
was
thought it was
not
correct.
normal. Oh my God. So what else in my life when growing up was not normal? And so I remember that distinctively because the shock, I was like, and they're like, that's so barbaric. I was like, well, actually, he would boil them. He would boil them.
No,
and
they were
and
half dangling out.
Yes,
anyway.
and he just
and he
ripped it
barely-
right out of our mouths.
So then you're backtracking, going, well, it was kind of just hanging on by a
Yeah,
thread.
and it wasn't really. Yeah, it wasn't really as bad. Although, yeah, he
really
did.
didn't. He handed it to
No,
me. and
he
said, "Here,
he
you do
locked it with the plier.
I never had
All
that.
right.
Do you know
You
what I
didn't? Your
had?
dad didn't do that to
what
you.
I had was the door slamming.
Oh,
of
that's
the,
that's worse. I'm sorry.
the whatever was
The
tied
string-
around it,
the string,
and the door
yeah.
slam.
that actually seems violent. Because what if he pulled it too hard?
Well, it was a contest when we were younger. With
So
my
you weren't
girlfriends.
afraid
He
at
just wanted
all
to pull out as
that he
many
put it on the
pieces.
wrong tooth. What if he
Because at one point you looked like one of those, like drug addict, like
did you have no
driving
teeth?
homeless people because you just had no teeth.
Aw.
Because you and
Well,
your
you
friends were
lost
just
them
going,
all.
Look, pull,
Well, you
pull,
wanted
pull."
like $10. You're like, listen,
10
I need $10. I'm gonna, yeah.
10 cents.
Yeah.
$1 if you
Oh
were
no!
lucky.
One time, my dad must have been really tired, so he ended up, I guess he put a 50 there because he worked graveyard, and I woke up and I was like, oh my God, the Easter Bunny or no, the Tooth Fairy gave me
whatever that
yeah, and I just
fairy
remember
is.
the look on my mom's face. She shot a look to my dad like, what the fuck? Yeah,
'Cause he
it
was
was a
like,
$5.
oh,
He
man,
meant to
shit,
give
I
me a
didn't even-
$5 bill.
I didn't even.
Yeah.
And
then
another
yeah,
zero.
yeah, and then my mom's like, I think if you put that under the tooth fairy will bring you something different. I was like, hell, I didn't say hell no, but I was
really
like,
messed
no,
up.
I'm good with the 50.
I'll
I'm
tell
good.
you, what's messed up is that was a shock and a surprise for you.
Yeah.
Now it would be, what do you mean I'm only getting 50? I need a pair of Lululemons and I
Right.
need a
Oh
100.
yeah.
and
No, my
and
kid.
it's
Yeah, that
not-
didn't happen over at the Schuler homes. No, we didn't. No, we didn't get Lululemons for a tooth. Yeah.
What? No. What about the modern Schuler home?
What?
You and your kids.
What about them?
Were you doing that or?
I
not?
there were times I think I might have forgot, and then I was like, It was like 4:00 in the morning. I'd be like army crawling in there going,
Gotta get under.
I'm
What
like,
is that? What is
"Shit."
that shit they crawl under the?
I don't
wire.
know.
I was
Oh yeah,
crawling
the
under
barbed
wire.
wire. No, I was probably weaving and bobbing with their clothes and shit all over the floor. Right, I probably was. It was an agility course just to get the $5
It's
under
like,
the
it's like
pillow.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
You're like picturing the laser going. Hey, mom, what are you
Yeah.
doing? Putting the money under my.
Exactly. Yeah, it was real good. I was late to the party a lot.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. Thank you guys for listening. We will, if you like what you see, or listen or hear. Actually, I forget that
think-
people are hearing it too.
Let's do a part 2 next time about the positive words. If
Oh yeah, let's do that. Yeah. So the words we don't want to be using are anything. I don't like absolutes. First of all, but
then we'll get into that.
never. It's very
Always.
restricting. Okay, but we're going with the negatives
Umbrella
because we're doing the positives next time. So never, hate. What else? Or give me another one that we said. Worried,
Worried,
scared, fear,
anxious,
anxious.
fearful,
Yeah, don't use. Well, I would suggest
tired.
trying every time you say that out of your mouth or recognize when other people are using it. Just start to notice how often
Yes,
people are
notice.
using. Just that's
First
it. Don't even
notice.
worry about extracting it. Just start noticing how often the people around you are using these words. You are going to just
You're
be
so right.
Yeah, you're going to be like flabbergasted. Does anybody use that word? Flabbergasted.
I'm actually, with this conversation today, I'm reminding myself.
Yeah.
You're reminding me of these. I'm relearning again.
Okay, well, good. Well, I'm glad one of
So
us.
I'm
Yeah,
going to
me
practice
too.
this
So we're gonna
again
go out and
tomorrow.
just be aware of what the words around us are, and you will be freaking shocked the number of people who are just keeping themselves small because of the words they're choosing.
Sadly, there are people that I love that are doing it.
Oh God, I got a lot of them. I mean, I don't have that
No.
many people in my core group, but yeah, I definitely people's
And I've
words. Yeah,
recognized, oh, you're doing this. You're in this wheel of.
yeah.
But I'm not. I don't know what. And I'm not correcting it.
Well,
I
I don't
might
even know if it's not for us to correct,
It's
right?
not.
I
It's
think
really
that
not.
there
They have
are
to self-correct.
choosing moments, right?
Choices.
Yeah, but that teaching moments. But I don't think people want us to police them.
Why
but I
do
just
you
think
people do that?
what I think it's just it's a loop that people get in. I think grooves in the mind. We just
almost
they're
as if
easier
they
to
like
go.
it after a
No, but I
while.
think that a lot of people grow up like that. I grew up in a much. My mom was a yeller, so I remember saying, "I'm not going to, yell to my kids or whatever." But
Right,
everybody grows up in a different household, and some people, get the privilege of growing up in two households, right? I call it a privilege, like divorce, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But so you're constantly learning and living these ways of being, and then when you become your own adult, you get to go out and say, wait a minute, which of this applies to me? What works for me? Oh, I actually thought that was cool about, I'm going to plug myself, my mom, like I actually like that about my mom.
Yeah,
But
yes. She was a yeller, but that was great.
yeah, but like I really,
we
she did
can.
this or whatever. But like then
learn
you
from that.
decide not to do certain things, right? And I think a lot of those tendencies, those emotional patterns, come from when you're a child, and you just assume them and not even realize that that's
It's a conditioning.
that you just sort of put those shoes on and never you can take them off anytime you want. Oh wow, that was good. Okay, we're gonna end on that.
That's it.
Yeah,
So
sage words from Steph and Heather.
how about that?